Okay, we're on the air right now. Is this a,
Good day, and welcome to our weekly confab.
it's weekly or
Lot of news,
it, it,
today, a lot of big news.
it could be
Um,
daily. Who the hell knows what's
you never
happening?
know, right? I don't
Yeah,
know,
probably like a few times a week. It might be good.
but wait, let me take my glasses off. There's a lot of news today. I mean, just recently, a lot of news. But
Okay.
one thing I want to start with is this. Everybody listen carefully. A vote for Trump is a vote for Putin. Putin is the marionette worker of Trump. Remember how Hillary called him a puppet in the 2016 election? And he said, no, you're the puppet. It's like, no, I'm better than you. You know, he's an idiot. And Trump is being manipulated. The strings are being pulled by Putin. It's simple. They talked, they had 8 or 9 conversations, and nobody knows what they said to each other. What do you think they said? We're going to divide up the world. That's what they said. And
Well,
now, when I said this 4 years ago almost, everyone thought I was nuts. Now, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing.
well, Trump wants to be like Putin, have the authorities of Putin. He's not really into being a president of the United States or according to the Constitution. He wants dictatorial powers. I
Because
mean,
he's
it's obvious from the friends he has,
that's,
his
that's,
buddies.
that's true, but he's also wants a daddy that will love him.
Well, he's sort of the
And it's Papa Putin. He because he's the daddy that never loved him.
right. Ask Mary Trump.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I said that, I put that in a tweet long ago. And I think that anybody who votes for Donald Trump as president is voting for Vladimir Putin. And if you want Putin to be the president of the United States, then do what you got to do. You could. That's what this country is about: free elections. If you want to vote for a dictator to run the president and turn him into a dictator, which is apparent, that's. And now the Senate. Did you see the Senate report, Malcolm?
I heard it. I didn't see it. It's supposed to be like a
Year ago.
1,100 pages.
Well, basically, it proves what Mueller and everyone was talking about regarding what's his name, the campaign guy. What was his name again?
Paul Manafort.
Manafort. That's the guy. That he was not only in direct collusion. No one said the word today, but it was collusion. The Trump campaign was colluding with Russian spies, basically Russian intelligence, to help him win the election.
Well, Manafort's top man, it was and I forget his name. It was
Limnick.
yeah, he was like a Russian spy.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
He was a top man.
haven't we all seen enough of these movies to recognize it in reality? I mean, I don't know how such a large percentage of Americans are so freaking stupid. I mean,
Well,
couldn't you see it? The minute he said, oh, if you're a star, they let you touch their pussy or whatever it is. You could do anything you want. Didn't somebody get a clue to that? Even these so-called suburban women or soccer moms or whatever they want to call themselves, didn't they take offense to that? I mean, if I said that, my wife would bash me over the head, even if I said it to my wife.
well, two things. I think one of the reasons he got elected was all the baggage that Hillary had, and all those which he was spreading those the lies, the information about the her tapes and what she did, and
Yeah, but that was all baloney. I mean,
I know, but you say a lie often enough, and there's a percentage of the people that agree with you.
That's
And I
what
think a lot of the people were it. I believe we are a racist society, and I think part of the people that didn't like Obama is because they didn't want a
Yeah,
black
but
man
he
to be
kicked
president.
ass. He won. He beat the crap out of everybody twice. And 2018,
Right.
Democrats took back the House. I don't, what I believe is this. I believe that people were scared into not voting because they didn't think it mattered, especially a lot of black voters didn't bother to go to vote. The Green Party candidate didn't help. That hurt because that took away a percentage of votes that would have
Who was
gone
that
to
again?
the Green Party candidate.
Yeah.
What was her name? I don't remember her name. Anyway, they got a nice percentage of the votes, which if they went to Hillary, she would have won because she only lost by 70,000 votes in 3 states. She won the popular vote by almost 3 million votes.
Yeah.
So
there was something.
Go ahead.
There was something that I heard. I think it was in Michigan that it was only a matter of each precinct was like 2 votes,
2 votes each precinct. That's all it took.
and that's why you have to come out and vote.
And I still believe that Hillary lost the election because the machines were played with. They said that wasn't true, but the guy who builds a lot of those machines is a very, very high-end Republican donor. Okay.
Well, that I hadn't heard. I mean, I don't disregard it, but I just haven't heard it. No one's played that fact
I think they're afraid to say anything now, but okay.
But she lost because of the misinformation, the information that the Russians wanted planted. I mean, it's like the whole thing of the what's the QAnon where they raided the pizza place in Washington because she was selling children out of the basement.
I know. I mean, oh, come on. I mean, what about the latest thing that they said about Kamala Harris? Rush Limbaugh calls him John and the Hoe.
Right, I've read that.
I mean, this is a woman. She is endearing. She's one of the few politicians that I ever saw that Kamala Harris. I'm talking about.
Right.
That Kamala Harris. That's endearing. I mean, there's a wonderful little video of her. There's a couple of videos that I saw that people should look at. One is when she was, she was going to do an interview and they set up the video and the camera was rolling, and then she heard one of the technicians ask about how to brine a turkey, you know. So she said, "Oh, I can tell you," and she starts talking to him about it. She goes step by step how to do it, what to do with the water, how to boil, all of that stuff, right? And then she gets interrupted by a phone call. She gets on her voice, says, "Yeah, hold on," and then she continues on to tell the guy how to brine a turkey. And then there's one when her husband Emhoff, his name is Emhoff, and there's 2 children he has.
Yeah.
And you know, because she calls us, she said that her favorite title of all that she's ever had is Mamala.
No, and I don't know if people listening to it, if they're all Jewish, but mamala is an endearing term for a mother in Yiddish.
Right, I know.
It's a mamala.
There's a wonderful song, Mamala. You know, Mamala. It's a beautiful. Anyway, and so when she was introduced to her mother-in-law grabbed her face in her hands and said, "You're prettier in person than you are on television. Mike, come here."
Yeah,
look at her. You know, and she did it. She did the imitation exactly like she sounded exactly like she came from.
Well, when she tells the stories, you know, her face lights up, and there's something real about her.
She has a lighty face. Her face lights up. Yeah. That's what it does. And
well, the whole thing that Rush.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Everything over here is as you see on the news shows. Everybody talks over everybody else.
But, no, they do it on the networks too. They don't have.
It
no
was
go like this.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
We need a stage manager.
Well, yeah, I know.
Rush Limbaugh, what I read was talking about, he said she slept her way to the top because I know, I'm not quite sure about the facts, but I know she had an affair with Willie Brown.
So what?
And Willie Brown was a kingmaker in San Francisco, and that's where she, became how she became the attorney general. I think first she was a district attorney, and then from there she became the attorney general. And according, of course, to Rush Limbaugh, it's because she was sleeping with him. But I don't know really that much about the affair. I don't know if I know Willie was married, but I don't know he was a player.
It's nobody's business. Yeah. It's nobody's business.
But the thing about
business. She's a married woman. And
I think that was funny, yeah.
It's like it was nobody's business what Clinton did. It was nobody's business.
Well, except he did it in the White House, so
So
that's,
what?
I mean, wasn't that?
So what?
As a matter of fact, you could be doing the same thing right now. You could be being serviced.
Look what this guy did in the White House. I
Yeah.
can't, if he ever leaves, you know, please, so what? It was nobody's business. All of those presidents before him, Roosevelt, Kennedy, and God knows who else, Washington, George Washington slept there, George Washington slept there. All of the presidents were not particularly all totally
Well, Roosevelt and Jefferson, we know, and
there's a lot of them, and they were great presidents.
except
That
Jimmy,
doesn't mark a
except Jimmy
president.
Carter. Jimmy Carter only had lust in his heart.
Jimmy Carter, right, Jimmy Carter, and I don't think Nixon fooled around, and I don't think
He couldn't find anyone to fool around with.
I'm sure Obama, Obama.
He did,
you
and of
know,
course, John Kennedy didn't fool around.
had fidelity. John did probably.
Probably.
I've heard stories from musicians in New York about that. Who went to parties that his brother Steve, what's his name? Steve, I forgot his name now. He's a high society guy. He used to have parties, and one of my friends, a musician, came. Was a bass player, and he said, and we're playing music and we're bouncing along. All of a sudden, in comes the president. With a couple of Secret Service guys, and the president comes in, and he had a woman on his arm, and
It wasn't Maryland, I think, or was it?
No. But I mean, that's still none of anybody's business.
I know.
White House is just a fucking house. That's all it is.
But the height of hypocrisy is when I think it was yesterday or the day before, after Kamala was announced as the vice president. He said, "How could he? I mean, she is so mean and nasty. Look what she did." And he's the one that calls all his opponents names and makes fun of them. And he calls Kamala mean and nasty.
He projects. That's what he does. And if he refuses to leave the White House, you know what they should do? Board it up.
Well, I think that,
lock him in.
It's not what he refuses to do, but you heard what he said the other day, that if I don't win the election, it's rigged.
Fine.
No, but the thing is, the people that support him, how many people will come out in force with their automatic weapons?
But if he wins the election and people come out in force to try to change that, the army will come out in force and change the people. And it may be a bloodbath, but that's what revolutions are. And right now, we're headed for a revolution. If this guy stays president, this country is done.
He is creating so much animosity. It's unbelievable. I mean, the whole thing of him, laying the track that, if he loses, it's a rigged election. He's creating a conflict right there.
I know. But the thing is, you pay no attention to him because he's an imbecile. Don't pay any attention to what he says. No, the television shouldn't even cover him. He doesn't say anything worthwhile for the people to know, ever. Never.
Well, that's what they're doing. Well, at least MSNBC and CNN are cutting them off when he supposedly has a. He supposedly has.
Did you see Fox News review on Mrs. Trump's Michelle Obama's performance last night?
No.
Oh man, I mean, he had two raves from Chris Wallace and from one of the women. I forgot which one it was. They said that she was something. I mean, they admitted that Chris Wallace said he sliced and diced Trump. She sliced and diced.
It definitely wasn't Laura Ingraham. She would never do that. Now, I like Chris Wallace. He is pretty much balanced.
He tends to be honest sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long he's going to last.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has a fine history. His father was a terrific.
Mike Wallace, yeah.
So you figure something like that would spill out in him.
For the history.
But right now, what what Michelle Obama said last night is pack a lunch, pack a dinner, bring a chair,
If you have to
bring an
stay
umbrella,
overnight.
no matter what it takes, vote. Because, and I've said this many times, your life really depends on it. There are over 170,000 people in this country who are dead. The majority of them because of this president. He should be held for negligent homicide.
Well, I know there's no leadership. I mean, he's saying, okay, let the government, let the governors do what the governors do. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a lot of the things the governors have to do, but there's no leadership, there's no direction.
There's no leadership in the White House and in the Senate. There's leadership in the House of Representatives. Don't ever make that mistake. The House has put hundreds of bills on the floor, on the Senate, given hundreds of bills to the Senate about everything Americans care about. Even now, the HEROES bill about reissuing the $600 checks and the $1,200 stimulus and giving money to the post office so that they can operate during the elections. And all of those things. And Mitch McConnell takes a vacation.
Well,
when you say it's the government, you're not talking about the people who are hired to do a job, like this gentleman Miles, who from the State Department, Homeland rather, who told the truth about what a nightmare Trump is. I don't know if you saw that recently.
No.
Oh, well, come on, watch the news. You'll see. He worked, I think, for Homeland Security. He was a high up. He wasn't just like and all of the people that work for the government that are hirees, not appointees, are trying to do their jobs. And the House of Representatives, run by Nancy Pelosi, is trying to do its job. Trump doesn't know how to do his job, and the other ones haven't got a clue. Mnuchin and the guy from HUD, Ben Carson, and Pompeo, please. He was a congressman.
How about William Barr?
Well, I saved the worst for last. William Barr is just a traitor. Traitor.
The president's attorney. But the thing is,
his job is to protect the people of the United States, not to protect the president. The president.
There's no Senate anymore. Like McConnell said, I won't bring a bill in front of the Senate because I know that the president is going to veto it. So, in other words,
but if that's baloney, because if you're head of the Senate, okay, and if you're the Senate Majority Leader, you can find 60 votes or whatever to override a veto.
Yeah, but he's making the Senate. He's making the Senate as part of the executive.
I bet you a lot of senators would pass a lot of those bills that he won't put up for discussion. A lot of them. A lot of those senators. You think people like Susan Collins and the guy from Colorado and them guys, they're going to lose their elections for doing what they're doing.
Yeah, but they put another Republican in, or they vote for a Democrat.
What? Who?
Yeah, like Susan Collins. Let's say she loses. Well, that would be a Democrat. That would.
Right.
Yeah.
Susan Collins is a Republican, and she's let everybody down. She allowed Brett Kavanaugh to be appointed. She allowed all of these horrible laws and judges. They're putting judges in positions, federal judges that have no experience at all. And look what you got with, I said, what did I say? I said, Biden will have a cabinet, whereas Trump has a porta potty.
That's the whole thing. The whole thing that people fail to really recognize is that Trump has put so many judges in, not necessarily the Supreme Court, which he has too, but on the federal level, on all different levels of local governments, not local governments, but the federal courts.
Only federal, not state.
The federal courts over the different divisions, not necessarily the Supreme Court. And that's going to be for years to come.
And he also wouldn't approve Merrick Garland, wouldn't even have an interview Merrick Garland, which he was a pretty moderate guy. He wasn't a flat out liberal.
Well, that was McConnell.
Because it's the last year of his presidency.
Yeah.
Now they would if God forbid something happens to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 2 days before Biden was going to take office, they would vote a new
Right.
yo-yo to be a judge. They picked the guy, they picked the pillow guy they'd get.
Yeah.
The
Well,
pillow.
McConnell's up for re-election, and it's supposed to be a tight thing. Lindsey Graham is up for re-election. I think Ted Cruz is up for re-election.
Oh, Ted Cruz is not.
No?
Because Beto O'Rourke ran against him in the
Oh.
last election, and he lost by a little bit, but he did lose. Beto O'Rourke was running for Senate against Ted Cruz. But all of these states, which put in, Georgia and Florida, which put in these Republican governors, how about now? How do you feel now? Where Florida is the highest rate of coronavirus, those are one of the main points of the virus, and Georgia too. How smart it was to elect Republicans like that. And the Republicans really cheated, because the guy in Georgia took 300,000 Democrats off the rolls just because he was also the Secretary of State while he was running for governor.
Yeah.
Hello?
Now what you wanted also to, originally we wanted to talk about the post office.
Well,
he walked back on it today.
Well, I think that the post office is, what this guy did is criminal. I think he destroyed equipment. He had equipment destroyed. He should pay for it. He sold his business for over $600 million. He should buy the post office some new sorters. And they should see. He said he would not go forward with what he was planning, but he didn't say anything about putting it back the way it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether he destroyed it or he just took it out of operation.
They say he destroyed it.
He destroyed it.
Some
and the drop-offs. But I don't know why we can't have in each state many more drop-off places where we could drop off our ballots.
They're opening up Dodger Stadium.
I know, but that's still one stadium that you can't have all the people coming there. But there should be local places.
There are.
It's not post office.
Beverly
it's not mailing. We can just drop it off.
There are. Beverly Hills had drop boxes. They call them drop boxes. They put them up, and you drop and you put the
envelope in,
the ballot in. The mailed-in ballot with all the signatures. The thing that people have to make sure to do is sign it. Okay, it shouldn't go in without a signature. Right. They have to sign it. Otherwise they can toss it. Okay, and I think that most places, I don't think there'll be a problem in California, but I'm talking about the swing states like Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin that they're doing all that stuff in, because they know that they'll lose overwhelmingly if they don't do something to stop the voting, because they're not going to change people's minds.
Well, the only thing that I worry about, and I've been like anti, I wasn't for Trump at the beginning. I thought it was ridiculous that he was even running, and I thought the possibility was so minuscule that he would win, that I think everybody underestimated him, and I don't know why people love him as much. I know a lot of people that I know basically, two reasons. Number one, they think he's good for business. But he has bankrupted everything he's done. Now our national debt is skyrocketing because he did away with the taxes for corporations. Didn't do it away, but he lowered it a great deal. And what he's doing, if he's elected again, and he's going to get rid of the payroll tax, and the payroll tax is a thing that supported our Social Security and Medicare. I mean, that was the main sourcing of it, especially Social Security. So according to Mnuchin, we got plenty of money for this, but they don't.
He was handed the keys to this country with the most successful 8 years growth that it has had in history, Trump, by Obama. He handed him a successful economy. The economy was doing fine.
Growing.
Not Trump's economy. Trump did nothing for the economy. Nothing. And as a matter of fact, he gave wealthy people $1 trillion. the money that could be used, that could have been used to fix the bridges and the roads and the tunnels, and it could have paid a great deal of money towards what happened with this coronavirus.
Well, the thing that I don't understand is how come the stock market is reacting the way it is. I mean, a lot of people are voting with their pocketbook because, sort of like a great deal of people, especially the older people, have their 401ks, and this has increased under Trump. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And the Dow is up. I don't know why. It's sort of like a shell.
When Obama took over the economy, it was in the toilet, if you remember.
Yeah.
George W. Bush put it there. And for 8 years, Obama worked with no help from the Congress. No help. He got no help from the Congress whatsoever, because the Senate, he only had the Senate for 2 years.
Well, as McConnell said when he got in, the first day he got in,
right,
we're going to block him.
That's right, right. And so they didn't even pass, he wouldn't give him a Supreme Court nominee. So with no help, he got the economy back on track. And then Trump took it over, and I don't care what anybody says, everything he did was to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have started going after these corporations for not paying any taxes, okay, for going overseas, and he said, he said when he was running, he said, oh, your jobs will stay here. No, they didn't. It was Obama who saved General Motors, not Trump.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. The governor of Michigan said that. It was Obama that saved the auto industry.
He did, but he did. And the Republicans never forgave him for it.
Well, the whole thing is Trump, in his things, says so many lies. If the Democrats win, there's going to be open borders. Nobody wants open borders. Why
would you think that anything he says is true?
But people
Man
say
told
that.
over 20,000 lies since he was president. So why do you accept anything he says as reality? There won't be open borders. There won't be. Everything he says is made up. He says it up at the spur of the moment. When are people going to understand? He's a liar. He's a sociopathic liar. And the Washington the Post has 20,000 lies he's told. 20,000. If Obama told one lie, they would be all up in a bunch.
The question is, why do people believe him? I mean, there are people, and I know I speak to other people.
How many Germans do you think believe Hitler?
Right.
That's the answer. It's a cult.
Because I speak to people and bright people. I'm not talking
They're
about
not bright people.
Educated people. I'm talking about educated people.
I don't give a shit what they are. If they don't see through Trump, they're morons. I'm sorry, they're morons. Because he means no good. He's ruining the post office so he can get elected. Isn't that enough?
No, he's ruining the post office like when he first got in. He wants to privatize it. I mean, that was his goal all along.
No, he doesn't give a shit about that. He wants to win re-election. He just wants to win re-election.
But before that, because
I
think he either introduced a bill, he was talking about it in 2018 or 2017, to privatize the post office because it was losing money. Everything for him is dollars and cents.
But it wasn't losing money. It was only losing money because the Republican Congress put a anchor on their back that they had to pay $5 billion a quarter or something for some dumbass reason that made no sense.
Well, I'm not sure of the finances of it, but again, we won't talk about it now because.
Excuse me, the post office is not a profit-making organization. Right. It's an organization that is it's not a business. It's a service to the people of the United States, and if they're not making money, tough shit, supply it.
Did you know they have over 600,000 people working for them?
Fine. Yeah, that means they're all getting checks. They're all getting paid. They're buying products. They're buying cars.
They're the third largest.
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? The post office does not have to turn a profit. It doesn't.
I've always said that the post office is probably one of the proudest things that we have as Americans. Nobody can believe that you drop a mail in from Beverly Hills today and it'll be in New York tomorrow with 49 cents postage.
Right.
It's an
Exactly
amazing, it's,
true.
I mean, it's an amazingly run corporation or business.
Okay, I want to say this for this little thing we're doing, okay? Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. That is the motto of the post office, except that it doesn't say, nor POTUS wipe Donald Trump.
Anyway, my son, our half hour is up. I didn't want to bore our people.
We ended on a good note.
We ended on a good note, and I don't know when we'll do another show. It's a matter of what happens, and again,
Tell me when. There's going to be another convention tonight,
another convention tonight. We could do this, depending if we get good response. By the way, we're going to be on MalcolmDigitalRadio.com.
I know.
And it's under the Lion Roars, because it's basically Bill Margot, who, for those who don't know, is one of the founding members of the Tokens, and it's a Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Sleeps.
Sleep?
What did you say?
Sleep or sleeps?
There it is, here, up there.
I see it.
That's the album cover for our album, Tonight the Lion Dances. Whoops.
Well, one day what I want to do, maybe a show when we get involved with politics, maybe we'll have some of your people there and play some music. And
up there is the gold record for The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah.
See that one on the top of the picture?
Because I want to talk eventually about your history. I mean, your life and the things that you've gone through with the. I mean, you were at the incursion of rock and roll. I mean, you were there at the very beginning. You knew all the people. One day we'll start it. Anyway, Phil, watch the convention tonight, and I will speak to you later.
I loved it.
Bye.
Bye.